starting the train, very first assignment in Adobe Illustrator. You'll have this printed out right here, and this is kind of what we're going for. So we're going to be using the Shapes tool. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do is open up Illustrator, create new, print. We want letter size, change it to inches, and then click on the orientation. I'm going to change the orientation. I'm going to say create. So now I have my blank white page here. Okay, so for this one, I want you to do a couple things. One, I want you to go to Window and check Control. So you have this panel up here. Alright, and then the second thing is you're going to click and hold on the shapes and drag out this little line here. So it brings out all my shapes. Because remember, I'm trying to create the train here. Alright, so your basic shapes are going to be your rectangle, circle, etc. Alright, to make a perfect circle, you need to hold down Shift while you drag. So it makes it perfect. If I don't hold down Shift, you can make it wonky, I guess, or oval. Alright? So the only tricky part you're going to have is going to be one, making sure your colors are set up correctly. So right now I have a white fill and a black outline. If I want to change that, I can thicken it up or I can lighten it up. Okay, for this one I'm going to do about 2 points so I can have a little bit darker of the thing. I'm going to drag this on here so you can kind of see what I'm going for. Zoom out. Okay, I'm going to place this over here. And I'm going to kind of go real quickly on places where you're going to struggle. So again, we have rectangles, right? So again, I'm going to come in here and click and drag. Click and drag. Right? If it doesn't land on the very place you want, again, I'm using that black selection tool, and I can move it, or I can even use my arrow keys to move it. Alright, and then I'm going to copy and paste this one. Alright, I'm making this right here. Okay, I'm going to click on these two. I just clicked and dragged over those two, and I'm going to do the line just to make sure that they are, perfectly across. Alright, and then I'm going to do one more, Command C, Command V. And again, I'm going to put that there. I'm going to highlight on those three again and double check on the alignment. Now I'm going to drag this out. Now I need to make this end part. So I need it to be a rounded rectangle. So I'm going to click and drag this rounded rectangle. I'm using my up arrow and down arrow to change the radius on the corners here. And I also need to change it to black. So I'm going to highlight this, move this up, change it to black. And then I also need to arrange it. Object, arrange, send to back. Alright, and now when I zoom in on this, now that I am going to drag it up to match it up. So it's still off a little bit, so what I need to do is change the stroke. I'm going to say none. And then bring it up. Bring it up. Another thing that I see most common mistake right here is this right here is not white, it is clear. So when you place it behind, you still see it. So if you're having that issue, double check to make sure there's a white fill on that so it will hide that part of the rectangle. Alright, then another thing here with same thing is going to be that circle. It was not a half circle, it's just hidden, so I'm going to click and drag. I'm going to kind of see where halfway point is, and then I'm going to go to Object, Arrange, Send to Back. Okay, so see how that's now a half circle? And then again, I'm going to have a rectangle. Lots of rectangles and circles, okay? Now, one thing you're going to see here is now you're going to see the triangles. There's no triangles up here, but there is the polygon tool. So if you click on the polygon tool and then click anywhere on your screen, it's going to pop up a dialog box and it's going to say how many sides. So how many sides does a triangle have? 3. So I'm going to say OK, and it pops up. Now first I need to change this color to black, and I'm going to change the size. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. Again, I'm going to change the size of this. Okay, now that I have one that I like, I can copy and paste it so I don't have to sit there and try to make the same size every time. So Command C, Command V. Command C, Command V. Again, if you're at a PC lab, it's Control instead of Command. Or right click, copy and paste. Ah, try that again. Okay, that looks pretty good. Alright, so we did triangles. Now the only other triangle I think you're going to have issues with is the one that's going to be located down here at the bottom. This one. Because when you draw the triangle, it comes in like this, and we need it to be a right triangle. So let me go ahead and change it to white, because it is white. And now I need to move a point. So I'm going to grab my direct selection tool. So the only time you'll ever use this white arrow is to move a point. Majority of the time you'll be using the black arrow, the selection tool, to move and resize. So again, the direct selection tool is to grab individual points. Okay, so again I'm going to click off of it, click on a point, and now I can drag that point to where I want it. Okay, now I can resize it with that black arrow to what I want. And then the rest are going to be circles, and then using that object arrange, remember to arrange above, in front, or behind, whatever you want to do. If you want to add color besides black and white, you can. Just ask your instructor what they prefer for you to do, either color or black and white. All right, that's all I have.